picked, actually. They're going to mix things up with a LeBlanc ban.
That's kind of interesting. I'm curious to see how ready these guys are for this matchup. I mean, we had Hooney and Peanut both streaming last night. Those are the two that I saw. So they weren't, you know, practicing into the dead of night or anything like that. But should be still pretty prepared coming into this one. And a Kled ban potentially here by SKT. Yeah, it is going to be locked in.
Kled getting banned away is extremely interesting. They're giving Ixu credit to play that champion. Now Jenner Greenwings is going to have to come up with the last ban, highlighting that Rengar. This does mean that Rumble, Graves, and Jhin have been let through. Teddy certainly likes his Jhin, but Bang no stranger to playing the Ezreal into that.
Bang Junxi, I think Junxi is his name. Just replacing his last name with Bang. Seems a bit tired. Okay, we have Jhin coming in here for the Jenner Greenwings. Funny how that works.
Probably see Jenner Greenwings respond with AD carry jungler here. Don't want to give away too much of their team composition, and with Rumble having already been picked and the bans unfolding the way that they did, there's really no reason to have to pick the top laner right now. SK Telecom, though, with Kha'Zix being picked and Jhin, they probably might just respawn AD carry jungler here.
I believe that is a bug. I think the Ezreal was locked in. Okay.
Being highlighted right now.
That is locked in, so Bangy's been really favoring that Ezreal nowadays. We saw him on some more normal picks earlier on, but then decided to come back to his tried and true Ezreal. And Peanut, he's one of the only junglers in LCK that consistently does well on the Lee Sin, so we will see it again tonight.
Lee Sin being picked here is a little bit interesting, and as you mentioned, Lee Sin at the very beginning of the season, first few weeks, didn't have the greatest of times. His only wins were coming from Peanut. Now Jenner Greenwings actually responding with Gragas to get that out of the way. Perhaps giving SK Telecom credit to ban away top laners to skew Jenner's team composition. Jenner starts off the second ban phase with a Rise ban against Faker.
That's his, Senpai, so awesome. I think that was a picture of Faker. Orianna, take it away here after the Rise ban.
Also important to note that this is patch 7.4 tonight. The games 2 days ago were on 7.3. Not the biggest of changes in this patch. It was more so a nerf to many champions, not really anything new added. Lulu being banned away by Jenner Greenwings at the very end. A little bit surprising to see that happen. Karma is still on the table.
As we've been seeing that Maokai and other top lane champions being picked earlier in the ban phase and pick phase, we've been seeing a lot of fourth pick Karma on the red side.
Probably see Karma here, and then SK Telecom responds with Nami.
There we go. This is becoming more standard, more common. But this will mean that Snowflower, or rather, well, Jenner Greenwings and Kuzan in the mid lane will get the counter pick in mid. So if you were trying to give yourself as much of a chance against Faker as possible, this is definitely one way to do it.
Nami being highlighted, and now if you're SK Telecom and you're thinking to yourself, what sort of a mid lane champion do you want? Well, it looks like they're highlighting Jace. And he's going to be locked in, so now Jenner Greenwings get to decide what Kuzan wants to play. Highlighting a Vel'Koz right now.
We have not seen a mid Vel'Koz or a support Vel'Koz, I don't believe. So he does change to the Victor.
Changes to the Victor, locks it in, and so yet again, Jin Greenwings with a very late game centric team composition. They have the wave clear on that Victor. They have the scaling that's going to be granted with the Gragas, Victor, and the Jin. This is just how they tend to play, and on red side, it's going to be easy for them to control the choke point leading into the red side jungle with the gravity field on Victor. They have the red side Gragas ultimate to knock people out of the Baron pit, can grant Umti some Baron steal potential, and they have the curtain call from the safety of the red side jungle. So lots of stall potential on that team composition.
Very standard Jin. You take a look at SKT's side, they have a lot of early game potential, looks like. I mean, they can definitely get the ball rolling if they win their lanes and kind of do what SKT does, where they don't let you get back into the game. This team doesn't really make mistakes. So I think if they get ahead early, they can definitely run away with this one quickly.
Yep. Would agree with that for sure. And we're about to take one last look at the team compositions. Rumble, Lee Sin, Jace, Ezreal, and Nami. So lots of acceleration potential, as you were mentioning. A lot of the onus will be on Peanut to make things happen. And then on the flip side, Gragas, Kha'Zix, Victor, Jin, and Karma for Jin Greenwings. Extremely difficult for Umti to do anything in the mid lane matchup, and even in bottom, so a lot of his focus should probably be up in top lane.
Yeah, so Uni definitely going to have to be careful coming into this game. So guys, let's jump into game number 1 right now. SKT versus the Jin Greenwings up in the Rift. Here we are in match 51 of LCK Spring. Had a ton of games so far. We've just recently passed the midpoint, which was 45 matches.
To start things off, we're having a fan out by both of these teams. Nothing too exciting happening.
Most exciting thing that happened right now is that we received our hot packs. Because, I mean, it's early March in Korea, so it's still a little bit cold. We had a couple of weekends that were decently warm. They were getting to around 10 degrees Celsius during the day. And now it's gotten cold again, which is not good news.
Korea has 4 seasons technically, but it's really just 2.
Technically.
Yeah. There's winter and summer.
Yeah, winter and summer, and then we get like 2 to 3 weeks of spring and fall. And those fly by. You don't even notice them go by. Those are your chances to kind of enjoy the weather. Then it gets extremely humid.
Faker and Uni looking to do some stuff. Kuzan, though, gonna get chunked.
I love how Huni just runs in there 1v2 and is allowed to pick up some of those Raptors and just harass the 2 of them. Actually, he didn't pick up any of the Raptors, my bad. Still on 0 CS. But still being a nuisance there at the Raptors.
Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Teddy and Snowflower got the jump up onto Bang and Wolf, pushing that lane in, but SK Telecom have the lane advantage right now, even though Snowflower and Teddy are pushing.
Ooh. Look at Bang's harassment and the follow-up from Wolf. Teddy's getting pretty low. And you can see just how confident Bang is on that Ezreal, especially against a bot lane that isn't, you know, KT's bot lane, which they just had to go up against. He must be enjoying himself down there right now.
Right now, it looks like Umti was trying to do something, but his route was a little bit peculiar. He didn't go for a full swing. Raptor Camp red golems top then mid, but instead opted to go into Peanut's blue side jungle. He got some intel on him, but fell a little bit behind in tempo, and now he can't make his way back up to the top half of the map, so he's going to fall behind in the golem camp.
And look at this. There are no wards in the bottom side river because of where MT went. So Faker's just running up on in here. He actually misses the accelerated shock blast, but he's got the support of Wolf now. And I thought maybe he was going to try to put some more damage onto the bot lane, but instead just going into that blue.
Right now, in bottom lane, you can see Teddy struggling a little bit to get some farm. Passive making it a little bit difficult. Snowflower considerably chunked, and Wolf is just being super obnoxious right now.
Yeah, and you thought it was only Wolf, and then Peanut runs in and steals the Gromp after a nice bubble that forces MT away. And you could see just how aggressive SKT is getting right from the get-go. Very, very confident play. This is what they need to do.
Greenwings, speaking of confidence, can't be feeling too confident right now. They must know that MT is, well, his route is going to be able to be completely predicted now. After the Gromp went down, there's only one place he can really go. That is into his left side jungle. And so when you look at mid lane and top lane, from SK Telecom's perspective, you just have to ask yourself, well, how can he approach this? And then all you have to do is play around that.
No wards in bot, and you can see SKT is trying to force a trade here. No more mana for Wolf to land a bubble, but here comes Peanut, gonna run on in. Still got summoners down here in bot lane, forces out the exhaust, and jumps in still, but Teddy is going to live, forces out the heal, and then just backs off.
Still a pretty successful gank nonetheless, though. They get the heal and the exhaust out of Teddy and Snowflower. Right now, Faker putting a lot of heat on in mid lane. Kuzan almost has reached the gold for his Hex Core upgrade.
Yeah, and he is keeping up in farm, you know, after all of that heat that Faker was putting on. You know, doing a decent job dodging some of the shock blasts. And here comes MT into the jungle, trying to find Peanut.
Oh, a little bit of a mistake right there.
Uh-oh, and Peanut, he must not have known that MT was here. He's going to lose those wolves. Let's see where Huni comes to, because Ixu is already inside the jungle. It looks like Huni's not going to come down. They're just going to have to give over the wolves to MT.
And he's going to have to give over the Gromp as well, so Peanut making a little bit of a misplay right there with the reset. Not the complete end of the world, though. But so far, Greenwings across the board, with the exception in bottom lane, they're, for the most part, keeping up in CS.
Well, here comes Peanut and Faker, actually, towards the bot lane, but the ward did spot them. So you can see already the bot lane has backed off. MT and Kuzan rotating, and here comes MT, very aggressive onto Faker. Gonna knock him back into Peanut. Peanut misses the shockwave. So allows MT to get away. There's the equalizer, though. That's gonna be first blood going over to Huni. Shock Blast does miss on the second follow-up there onto Kuzan, but they do pick up first blood.
It was the long con. He intentionally missed because Huni said, I got it. That's...
They wanted to feed Huni instead of the Lisa.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this will be better later on.
Yeah. I'll just give you the W and get the assist that way. So Huni able to rotate down into mid lane, pick up that kill for his team. First blood on him is actually probably the most valuable right now because of that Rumble versus Gragas matchup.
Yeah. Wolf getting aggressive again, will eat some damage, but you can see just how low Teddy's getting once again. Having a bit of trouble keeping up. Does have the boots' swiftness, actually, an early pickup, which means that he must have started with the boots, so he really doesn't have much in terms of attacking items just yet.
Yeah, his itemization is extremely peculiar. Doesn't really grant anything.
And look at him compared to Bang. Bang already has the cull and the tier, so Bang is going to be scaling like mad, whereas Teddy is kind of just struggling to do any damage at all.
Right now, Peanut, level 6, coming into bottom lane. Bang is level 6 as well. Looks like he's going to try to get some intel first on where could be.
He's looking. We see the True Shot Barrage come out of bottom. Potentially just trying to push the lane. Actually is putting down the ward to get the teleport in here. That's going to be Snowflower going down. Let's see if they commit to more. Looks like no, Huni just going to teleport down. This might mean they go for the bottom turret here.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get this bottom turret for first blood of the game. Teddy doesn't have ultimate yet, so there's going to be no way for him and to somehow stop this. Equalizer, not the... it whiffed.
Yeah. You can see that even though SKT is whiffing skill shot after skill shot, they still are massively ahead at 9 minutes. Over 2,000 gold. And the bot lane is just a wreck right now for Jin Air. Already down 20 CS and all the scaling items as we said before. Now Faker getting onto Ixu, who has less than half health. Looks like he will give up on the kill and go back to mid lane.
Gragas is a big boy.
Looking for that barrel, the flash stun into, trying to get the stun. Lots of burst damage coming out. This will be the kill onto Faker. And in fact, the one lane where SKT is having a bit of trouble now is the mid lane.
That was very surprising because Faker must have known that there's a possibility that he's still around there. And his decision to come back into mid lane is a little bit peculiar. But credit to Ixu for setting up that play and giving Kuzan the kill over him. And now he's at a pretty sizable CS lead as well.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. Maybe Faker a little bit overconfident to stick around. Shot Barrage does miss after Bang does a bit of burst damage earlier for about half his health. Here comes the flash into the missile, and even with the exhaust, that should be the kill. He'll go over to Huni. He gets very close to dying, but calculated all in the end.
Speaking of calculations, it looks like SK Telecom know exactly how to convert the early game lead into more pressure. They pulled Jin Air Greenwings up into top lane, and you can just see how far behind Teddy is right now. They're gonna let Rumble go into bottom lane. Huni doesn't even have teleport advantage right now, but because SK Telecom's bottom lane is now top and they're on the blue side, the defensive angles that they can take are going to be a little bit better. Much easier to put a stop to any sort of teleport plays with up in top lane.
Finally a bit of answering back onto Bang, who does take a bit of damage, but the healing from Wolf and just the biscuit that he had is going to be enough to get him back to full health. And Teddy's still low on mana. Peanut might look for something up top. Looks like he does see Kuzan, but may just return to getting that Scuttle Crab.
Right now the game is, for the most part, I mean, pretty passive. A lot of the kills that have occurred have been pretty straightforward. Definitely not as chaotic as the SK Telecom versus KT.
Well, looking for some action now is Jin Air. We got 4 of their members up top. A great land there by the Karma. In fact, here comes trying to do a bit of damage to Bang. Will pick up the kill. And the ultimate comes out onto Wolf, but is not enough as he actually rams straight into the turret. Now Faker's up top, trying to go 1v4. Just looking to land some damage as Huni continuously pushes bot.
So Jin Air Greenwings, they got that kill onto Bane. They got some summoners as well. Not able to convert too much off of it. SK Telecom gonna respond now by taking Cloud Drake. Not the best dragon in the game.
Yeah.
For them to pick up against the Victor and the Jin. Definitely would want some Mountain Drakes, and
Ocean Drake
RNG
is next.
Yeah, it's not on their side tonight. Jin Air Greenwings winning the lottery in terms of dragons.
Faker actually messed up the acceleration gate on that one. didn't actually put the shock blast through it.
There's been lots of mechanical plays from almost all of the members on SKT tonight, a little bit more than we're used to seeing. Keeps messing it up.
Yeah. He is still going to jump into Kuzan, who puts down this Chaos Storm, landing a bit of retaliation damage towards Faker. Will force the recall out. Here comes Ixu from the right side. Bang should be okay, but Wolf and Peanut in the top river. Look at all the Jin Air Greenwings members. They're hunting Wolf. And they land the Deadly Flourish, and oh, that might just be his life. He flashes the wall, needs to dodge it. It might not matter. He dodges the, no he doesn't. The fourth shot does get him. And down he does go.
Nice pickup for Jin Air Greenwings. Comes at a cost, which is top tier 1 turret. Now Ixu, yeah, trying to go on to Huni. Huni just gonna knock himself away.
Fearless in the face of both Ixu and MT. Does have that equalizer available, but Smite for MT should secure this blue. Oh, Bear almost misses it there. He's getting MT pretty low now, forces the flash. There's the equalizer. Ixu is around, but MT still very low. There's the flash out of Huni. Does pick up the kill. Here's the fall from Peanut and another missed flash wave, shockwave. Sonic Wave, rather. That is going to be the kill there onto Huni. The double kill comes out, and even though Peanut not the cleanest of helping there, they still do capitalize on the 2 kills.
Yeah, I don't quite know exactly what's going on with Peanut, but...
Blank game 2, anyone?
Yeah, blank blank space. I don't know. It's a lot of missed skill shots. I mean, he's still 0-0-4 for the game, 80% kill participation, but some things definitely could have gone a little bit cleaner.
Teddy still not doing any damage. The crit barely even tickles Huni. He's 4-0.
Right now, talking about the itemization, we can see the Faker is going into the tier. So he's going to have that available to him to aid SK Telecom's poke in Siege later on into the game, as that's going to be a pretty big part of their ability to break into the base of Jin Air when Victor tries to stall endlessly.
We have a bit of a rotation now down towards bottom lane. Even Kuzan pushing mid and making his way down. This is going to be 4 members of Jin Air that look to push the spot turret. As I do say that, though, Kuzan and MT begin to make their way up towards mid. And just going to push that wave and head towards mid as well as the Jin Air bot lane. Meanwhile, Wolf and Peanut trying to get onto this Rift Herald, but they are spotted by Ixu, who lays down a ward.
The problem is right now Faker was up in top lane, able to keep shoving in a wave. Jin Air Greenwings, though, they're going to pick up the most valuable turret. Mid tier 1 now, down. And this is going to enable them to be a little bit more aggressive unless SK Telecom can respond with mid tier 1 turret. Taking a look at a replay from a few moments ago, you can see Huni really wanted to flash in on Umti, but he was just waiting a little bit, and then Peanut was in position, able to land that kick. Yeah. Couldn't quite follow up on it.
Not the hardest ability to land if you are in melee range, but this is the Sonic Wave.
Brendan, you have to put your mouse over the champion and press R.
That's true, that's true.
All right.
And if you're not using, you know, the Smart Cast, you have an extra click involved, so it could definitely get a little bit hard.
That's what I'm saying. Good. I'm glad that we're on the same page here.
Yeah. Are they going to give this to Faker? It looks like it. Yeah.
Faker's not in the mood to eat. He didn't want that plant. Wasn't quite full HP and full mana, but decided against it.
I think Huni, when he got the kill onto MT, already had his Leandries, so he's about, you know, 800 gold to finish that Zhonya's, and we're gonna see a really scary rumble in this game. It's going to be hitting like a truck. He was actually playing this a couple of times on stream last night. I was watching. Already up 2.2k gold on Gragas.
And Jinner's actually ahead in the mid lane department, though, in gold. He's on slightly ahead of Faker. And right now, it just becomes like a mini waiting game. It's almost like Jinner Greenwings are going to become a mini Samsung Galaxy, where they're just going to constantly go to the lanes, pick up, farm, and wait for the late game. This is basically all Jinner Greenwings do.
It's just they still can't convert. Okay, we got an Infernal Drake at least for Dragon number 3. Okay, we got a nicely placed ward. Here comes Huni, right on top of the stun, but the tidal wave coming out. Can they convert onto any kills? Kuzan is lifted on up. In goes Peanut the kick, but Kuzan is still alive. Wolf very, very low in the back. Oh, and even eats that 4th shot. Here comes Faker with the shock blast, but still not enough. Nobody dies on either team.
Really close call for Jinner Greenwings. Managed to just barely get out. You can see bottom lane not looking so great for them. They're going to be able to put some gold into one of their main carries up in top, though. And the next Dragon of the game, SK Telecom winning out the RNG war on that one. Infernal Drake will be spawning. That's something that Jinner Greenwings will potentially have to try to defend against. And then depending on the speed at which it does get taken, the next Dragon to follow that up could be Elder Dragon.
Well, they didn't have the Baron spawn, and I'm curious to see how risky SKT is going to get with this. They are ahead by about 5,000 gold, but you know, we've seen Umti jump into the pit and steal his fair share of Barons already this season, so I would want to at least get a pick before you make an attempt at that Baron.
Trying to go aggressive.
Yeah, jump at the wall. Actually, the flash onto Bang, who might not have his arcane shift. Yeah, he does not. He does get picked up. Nice engage there by Ixu. And all of a sudden, Jinner Greenwings are the ones that look to potentially make a push in mid lane.
Faker trying to respond to this by drawing attention up to top lane. Jinner doesn't actually commit to mid lane. A little bit peculiar. They had the curtain call on Teddy, but don't ever, let's not ever associate proactivity with Jinner Greenwings.
They're scared of the nightmare rumble. Who's gonna equalize everybody.
Listen, Brendan, Jinner Greenwings would fold aces. Okay? Pre-flop.
I mean, yeah, it's possible.
That's what they would do.
I wouldn't put it past them. They'd be that guy in the casino that just never plays a single hand. He's just getting the free food. he's not there for the poker.
Oh man. Well, and so it commences yet again.
Yeah. Well, there you could see that SKT, now that they have 5, they're definitely looking for picks. Gets the Edge of Night off of Teddy. Huni looking for that equalizer. Waiting. Ixu is on the right side, so look for the engage there. He does not have his flash this time. Umti jumps the wall. And Snowflower eats half his health and damage.
Right now, SK Telecom, they're going to try to make something happen, but against the wave clear that Jinner have available to them, I don't really see anything happening.
Faker taking a ton of damage, and in goes Huni all alone, gets exhausted, but really nice zone. Just great kick there by Peanut to set up the kill, picks up Victor. That's one of the main components of all this wave clear. Still more poke coming out of Faker and Bang. And now maybe they can push the turret.
Getting Kuzan a really big victory for SKT, and that chunk on Teddy, really big as well.
Makes things even easier.
Now without Victor, Janair Greenwings will have to concede this middle tier 2 turret, so inch by inch, SK Telecom's gonna claw ahead. About to make an oopsie.
Peanut still on the chase. He's saying, okay, this isn't your jungle anymore. It's past 20 minutes. This is now SKT territory. Get out of here.
Faker now has just picked up Edge of Night. And you can see that the itemization for Huni and Peanut also extremely defensive. Really itemizing to let SKT go in. And in this replay here, you can see that Ixu tries to go forward and maybe get Faker, but in doing so, Huni with the Zanya's Hourglass able to dish out so much damage onto Jinair. Teddy holding that 4th bullet for the enhanced damage as long as he could, but didn't quite matter as Peanut was able to knock up Kuzan and take him down.
Yeah. Peanut so far, his role has been Dragon Kick after Dragon Kick. Just setting up kills essentially for his teammates. He's 0-0-5. Not taking any of the big gold from the kills from his team.
Interesting itemization from Kuzan. Lichbane's second item with Ninja Tabby. A little bit peculiar. I can understand that, yes, SK Telecom have a few melee champions. Jin can go melee or be ranged, but Lichbane does strike me as peculiar.
Look at this. Faker, he's trying a 1v2. He gets caught up in top lane. Not the first time that has happened. Huni's like, I got this, boys. 1v5, no problem. I got Wolf on the back end. He's gonna Zonia's, but he has no help. He's gonna try to flash away. Here's Bang and Wolf finally, but they're here a little bit too late. And that's a double mistake, I'd like to call it, out of SKT, and great capitalization by Jinair. This is exactly what they need to stay alive in this game.
It is what they need to stay alive. SK Telecom being a little bit too disrespectful in a way with their lane allocations, and also that teleport from Huni was extremely bizarre.
Yeah, that's an easy cancel. I mean, you can see all the members all around you. I think he just underestimated how long it would take for his team to follow up.
Now, Peanut started Infernal Drake, even though he knew he couldn't quite burst it down. He's gonna, oh, okay.
Well, he is gonna go down. No, never mind. Okay, the kick comes out, and Faker jumps the wall.
What?
Now it's his turn to go 1v5, and he is going to get killed. Bang getting a little bit too close, and Jinair all of a sudden is beginning to run away with a bunch of kills. Ixu getting a little bit too far forward. Huni is there to help Bang. But, I mean, that's the Infernal Drake now, which really could have helped SKT in their pushing and winning these team fights. Going over to Jinair, and 2 more kills.
Well, SK Telecom, I don't really know exactly what to say. They're just... Really, it doesn't look like them with some of the decisions that they're making, and Jinair, Greenwings, quick to capitalize on all the mistakes that they're making right now. And you mentioned earlier in draft phase that SKT usually not a team that makes this many mistakes, and especially not to this level. Definitely peculiar damage foresight. They're still in a lead though, which could even be misleading Jinair Greenwings. They have about a 5K gold lead, but when you factor in the Infernal Drake and the scaling from Jinair, SK Telecom isn't really in a lead, and it's only going to get worse. They would have a very slight lead, if anything, right now.
I think after that series of events, SKT really needs to take a step back and say, okay, now it's time to play this game seriously. And I hope it's not too late for them. It's like that solo queue game where you're up 17-5, and then your mid lane dies like 3 times trying to go 1v4. And you're like, okay, well now let's try, but you know, all of a sudden they steal Baron and then the game runs away from you, so.
Well, one of the main problems is Faker's confusing Jace's the defender of tomorrow with Tom Cruise, Edge of tomorrow. He keeps thinking.
Yeah, you don't just, you know, I mean, I guess you do get to respawn, essentially, but there is a drawback in this case.
And right now, the game has hit a little bit of a passive phase. We are watching paint dry.
We got the fight over the red buff. Who's going to win?
This is the real highlight.
Ward goes down.
There
and
it is.
Oh, with the burst damage.
I want to hear that play-by-play, Brendan, on that
That was
smite.
nice, right?
Yeah. I wanted to hear the detail of the color yellow come down and hit the minion. You didn't quite deliver, so.
Yeah, maybe next time. Maybe on Baron.
Barrage comes out.
Now everybody has agreed to group up mid. Ooh, Teddy eats a shock blast. Faker really just snuck that one in there. Tucked it right behind Gragas.
Oh, and they're actually going to go for a Baron Blitz. And never mind, they're going to turn their attention away. Maybe hit the Scryer plant. That might be a good idea. Yeah.
Jin Air, it looks like they immediately knew just by the rotation, even though they didn't have the vision.
Jin Air's not looking for a fight. They just want the game timer to go up.
Yeah. They're just sending in, and Snowflower is there to support. And that's it. You can see they threaten it, and immediately SKT has to back off. They cannot go for that Baron Blitz. We've seen MT do it before. Oh, man. That's the force of 2 accelerated shock blasts in your face. Maybe now they'll give it a shot, although Teddy is healing back up.
SKT really not making use of a lot of the macro things that we would expect out of them at this point in the game. You see that Huni has teleport, and yet he's hanging around mid lane. Yes, they would need him for an equalizer, but they're in a position that Jin Greenwings should not be able to surprise them. Huni now going to go down into bottom lane. Or not. Okay.
He's thinking about it. He's actually going back and forth.
I'm not quite sure. That has to be about 400 or 500 gold of minions. Not something that you just want to ignore.
Yeah. He'll go down and pick it up now. Does have his teleport in case Baron has started. And I think 7.4 is the patch with the experience, the rubber banding. Is that correct? I think that is. Because we had Wolf, I think, a level and a half ahead of Snowflower. Now Snowflower is 2 levels over Wolf, which is not the most gigantic deal on the supports, but right now Wolf does not have his level 2 ultimate.
Well,
not that he's had to use it any time in the last 5 minutes.
This is actually the patch where some of the masteries did get nerfed, and yes, as you mentioned, the catch-up experience is here. And right now, I mean, SKT, they still, if you look at the gold, they have about a 6,000 gold lead, but again, you have to think about what that Infernal Drake is doing for all the members on Jin Greenwings. It's doing wonders for that Jin and Victor. Oh, and that equalizer, it really did chunk Kuzan, but...
Yeah, Kuzan's the target here. Nice second missile for the follow-up. Peanut wants him. There's the redemption. Everybody will group up. Kuzan near full health now, and it looks like SKT will just accept the Ocean Drake as their prize.
I don't even know. That's like getting socks from your great aunt on Christmas.
Yeah.
You win the fight, and then you get an Ocean Drake. I will say, though, that, you know, given the fact that they do have the Siege and Poke as a gear that's available to them, the longer that this game goes on, it will help out in that regard a little bit.
And they got an interesting position here where Huni was able to rotate down to bot. He could push that in pretty fast.
They don't need to fight here. Huni going uncontested. Don't know what SKT
Oh boy, Bang, he went real aggressive. There's the Redemption coming in. Everybody is healing up. It looks like Huni has been able to take that turret, and Teddy in the back eating a huge shock blast. Empty in the front. It doesn't look like Peanut can quite get on top of him. Equalizer is ready once again, and they don't go for it. They decide not to, even though Teddy is very low. Okay, here comes the chase finally. And Teddy is in a ton of trouble, forced to flash away. The equalizer goes the wrong way. Karma will bite the dust. Teleport coming in now from Ixu. And there's the flash forward from Huni. They finally are able to get Teddy. Kuzan in the back, quite low here. Umti trying to burst down Faker, what will also go down. Kuzan on the run, Bang once, and Redemption finally comes out once again. Ixu is able to eat that heal, but he will go down. And that is 4 kills in total, only Kuzan surviving.
And SK Telecom just turned the game on its head in a matter of seconds. They're going to get themselves another turret as well. Probably going to turn their sights to Baron right now. Ixu doesn't have teleport, even if he would have been able to come up before this Baron would go down. And without Umti, there's no way for Generic Greenwings to try to stop this. And so now they're going to have to resist the Baron siege. Take another quick look at this replay. So you can see that SK Telecom, they really wanted blood. They landed the shockwave on Snowflower. Huni cast the equalizer, but Teddy, not quite deft, went away that Huni probably was not expecting. And he ended up just getting sandwiched in the end anyway. Kuzan, you can see, doesn't quite have the damage. The exhaust came out to completely gut it in the end anyway. Umti doesn't really have that much damage anyway. Redemption came out, and I thought it was actually going to enable Ixu to live, but Bang, just a little bit too much damage. Jitter Greenwings bit off more than they could chew. So now, 11,000 gold lead for SK Telecom.
Yeah, it's quite nice. And with the Baron buff here, it's going to make things even easier. Jin Air still has that really nice wave clear with Kuzan. And of course, the Infernal Drake did go over to Jin Air. So we have SKT sitting on double Ocean Drake and a Cloud Drake. Not exactly the best set of dragons to go for a push, but they're so far ahead that they can actually just tank a ton of damage and still push the turret. In fact, Ixu getting so low that he has to back, and that should be the first inhibitor of the game going down.
Inhibitor's going to be opened up now for SKT. They should be able to rotate down to bottom a little bit. Surprising they don't have Huni go up to top lane with that teleport. Look at the amount of damage that's done to that top inhibitor turret. It would be so easy for SK Telecom to raise that with Baron minions.
Seems like maybe they want to push it in right now with the equalizer, but Huni getting extremely low. The Redemption is forced out. Curtain Call. I think he landed one of those bullets. True Shot Barrage comes out. And it looks like SKT might push in with this wave. As many members of Jin Air Greenwings now getting low. Really nice equalizer. This will definitely force them back. And look at how fast they do damage to those turrets.
That damage coming out from Huni. That was a beautiful equalizer to open up the base of Jin Air. And now with 2 inhibitors down, it's not going to matter about that Victor wave clear. Not going to be able to stall out the game the way that he could have before. And in a minute and a half, Elder Dragon is spawning, and you can't expect that Jin Air Greenwings are going to be in a position to try to take that. And, I mean, the game is spiraled completely out of control. 13,000 gold lead for SKT.
Yeah. It was really just that one fight that they had in the red side jungle of Jin Air, where both Snowflower and Teddy getting caught in a really rough spot, and everybody else trying to save them eventually met their own doom outside of Kuzan. And once they got all those kills and the Baron and both inhibitor turrets and both inhibitors, now we're in a much different game. Elder Drake coming up here in 50 seconds, as you were saying. Baron buff about to run out. We'll see exactly how SKT wants to push this one in. For now, it looks like basically just kill Ixu is the plan, who tried to charge in and stun Wolf, but did miss. And here we go, coming in onto this very weak top inhibitor turret. Big shock blast onto Teddy. And that inhibitor. Okay, they're going to give it one last shot. Ixu engaging on in, will pay for it with his life. Huni is about to turn onto Kuzan, who got a little bit too close. Big stun there from Kuzan, though, and a lot of members of SKT are pretty low. But here comes the redemption. Will heal up all those important members. And finally, that big equalizer takes out MT. And with these super minions, it looks like SKT is going to push into the base and try to end game number 1.
I like how Bang is killing the inhibitor still instead of attacking the turret. As safe as humanly possible.
Trying to set up the kills. Wants to help his team's KDA. They get another one on Teddy, and that's going to be game number 1 in an eventual landslide out of SKT.
SK Telecom eventually managed to find the openings that they needed to bring the game back under control, but a lot of mechanical errors that game across the board for all the members, and it does make me wonder if Peanut's going to get subbed out for Blank if he's just not feeling it, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
Yeah.
Could just be having an off day.
I mean, we saw them subbing in Blank for Peanut against KT, so Coma has definitely put in subs in more high-pressure situations before.
Well, we'll also get to see if Prophet would make a return in today's series.
As long as he gets Rumble, that's the only champion that I want to see Prophet on.
C-champion, kill champion,
Yeah.
Prophet. So that's basically it. Generic Greenwings, though, I mean, they drafted the way that they draft, and they don't quite have the all-star lineup of KT to try to take to SKT with an ultra-aggressive team composition. And so you're left wondering, really, what do you do?